Hi guys, it's Marika here from Lake House Vlogs and welcome back to my channel. So this is our very first year homeschooling here in the Lake House if you're new around these parts. I have 4 children and 3 I'm currently homeschooling. I have a 5th grader, a 1st grader and a kindergartner, and then my sweet little Jackson is 2.5. He's not homeschooling but he does like to join in with all the things that we are doing. So, as I said, we have been homeschooling. This is our very first year. So we live in Western Australia and our school year begins at the beginning of the year in February. So we are just in 3rd term now, just about not even quite halfway through. So really we've just been homeschooling for 2 and nearly a half terms. And so far we are loving it. And we are making the slow progress towards becoming a Charlotte Mason homeschool family. So originally at the beginning of the year we just started really slow with homeschool. We were just focusing on doing math and language lessons every day and Bible study every day, and then I think we were just doing science, and that's about it. And as we went along, we were becoming more confident in our homeschooling. The children were getting used to the process and I was getting used to the process. Then I would add in more subjects and more things to do. So we have started off really slowly and really easy. And as I said, we're making moves to be more of a Charlotte Mason style homeschool. So you might have that question, well, what is a Charlotte Mason philosophy? And I'm just going to read you a quote. So this is from simplycharlottemason.com, and I will put that link down below in the description box for you. And this is what they say. The Charlotte Mason method is based on Charlotte's firm belief that the child is a person and we must educate the whole person, not just the mind. So a Charlotte Mason education is 3-pronged. In her words, education is an atmosphere, a discipline, and a life. And Charlotte Mason, she was an English woman who I think was alive maybe in the 1800s. And so this was her philosophy towards education. You're training your children in good habits, there's no, like, she called it twaddle, so no busy work or anything like that. And when I was reading the information over on simplycharlottemason.com, I'm like, yes, this is definitely how I want to educate my children. And so I will, as I said, leave that link down below. So if you want to know more about what a Charlotte Mason education is, you can go to simplycharlottemason.com, and they even have a YouTube channel, and you can find out more information for yourself, because Sonia Schaefer over there will do a much better job at what I'm currently doing. And so this video today, I just want to share with you the main reasons why we love a Charlotte Mason philosophy in our homeschool, and the different things that we're starting to add in heading in that direction to becoming more Charlotte Mason focused, if that's a technical word for it. So number 1 is living books. So Charlotte Mason is a very literature-based kind of thing, and in particular living books. And so it's moving away from textbooks and to a living book. And so I really use this when I'm use this kind of idea of living books when I was looking for books to add into my homeschool. So as I said, we had math down and we had language and literacy down. We already had those, and we had added in some science, and then I was slowly adding all the other things. You can hear my kids rousing in the background, just ignore that. So I had those things, and then I was starting to add other things in. I added in geography, I added in history, I added in nature studies, and I do have some videos already that I have got on my YouTube channel. I'll throw a card up wherever it goes, this side, that side, not sure. I'll throw a card up and you can go and have a look at those. But back to what I was talking about with living books. So what is a living book? So living books, 2 that I use that are living books are Story of the World, and I use The Wonderland of Nature. So these are told as a story format, okay? So for the Wonder... Can you... Jackson's currently screaming down the house. Sorry about that. So The Wonderland of Nature is told as a story. So obviously... Okay, so this is about ladybirds, and they do have illustrations here, but let me just read to you. So she has this section here where you learn about ladybugs, and this is just what it says. When Chris and Tess first saw a certain kind of little grub running around on a plant covered with aphids and stopping to eat a few now and then, they didn't think for a moment that it had anything to do with ladybugs or beetles. But then, on the back of the leaf, they found another of these grubs looking the same as the first one, but behaving differently. Its little brown and orange body was bent over into a hoop, and it was so still that it reminded us of caterpillars when they turn into pupa. And so, obviously, it keeps going like that. And they talk. The story goes on to talk about their discovery of the ladybird, what it was doing, what it looked like, what it was eating, but told to you as, in a story form, where something like this book. Which is more of a textbook. So what it has is it has real life pictures, which is great, and then it just has chunks of facts about the insects, not told in a story format, just listed as facts. And I love story format. So I love this idea of living books, and in particular the story of the world. This is a really good one. So this is the history of the world with all the right important facts, but told as a story. And my children absolutely love this book, and so we get a lot out of the stories that we're reading, so much more entertaining than just a dry textbook that is just listing off facts. And so we are absolutely loving living books, and that is one thing that is a really good move in moving towards a Charlotte Mason philosophy in your homeschool, is looking at the books that you're purchasing to use in your homeschool and make sure that they are living books. Number 2, the second thing that we started adding into our homeschool routine was narration. Now, in simple terms, narration is just simply telling back in your own words what you have learnt or just read. So, with our living books, I would read the children just one chapter from this book, and they're just a couple of pages. They're fairly short. They'd sit and listen. I'd read the chapter to them, and then they would narrate back to me, or tell back to me in their own words what I had read to them and what they had learnt from the story. And that's a really good way to just to test the understanding of your children. Were they actually listening? Did they understand? And are they able to form those ideas into their own words? Great activity. We don't do any busy work with our lessons. We read a chapter from here. They will narrate back what it is that they learnt from the story, and then we may do an art notebooking page to go with it. So narration, number 2, is a really great thing to start adding into your days with your homeschool days, along with your living books. Number 3 was no twaddle, and that is the words of Charlotte Mason. I don't use the word twaddle. I'm not English, I'm Australian. We would say now no busy work. So I remember when I was getting ready to start homeschooling, and I was watching all of the great YouTube videos that are out there and reading blogs and websites and all kinds of things. And lots of the homeschool mamas had a whole stack of what they called, busy work activities for their children. So they would have activity books that they could use, worksheets, all these kind of activities. So the children would be doing their homeschool work, and when they needed to keep the child busy, they would just give them more activities and more work. I did not like that at all, and I didn't even start doing busy work, so it wasn't hard for me to cut that out of our homeschool. We just didn't do it. So I have my lessons set out for my children, which are also short and sharp. We probably do a lesson for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, and that's also something that Charlotte Mason also recommends as well. And so whether that's a math lesson or a history lesson or a language lesson, that chunk when we're studying history will only be 15 to 20 minutes long. I find after that my children just start to tune out, and they've had enough. So we do short, sharp lessons, and then if I do need the children to be occupied while I'm doing something, I don't just hand them more busy work to do. Instead, they have they know what it is that they can do. They know that they have a list of jobs that they need to complete every single day. So they may choose to go off and do their jobs while I am busy doing something. Or they have activities that they enjoy doing. My daughter really enjoys colouring in. So she does have a stack of colouring in books that she likes to get out and colour and draw. She loves to make cards for people, and so I say to her, Emily, can you go find something to do while I'm just working with William? And off she'll go, and she'll pick an activity to do, whatever it is she wants to do. She might get out it was somebody's birthday recently. She said, I'm going to go make such and such a birthday card. So she went and did that. She has sewing. She has art projects that she's got on the go. She will go outside and play with her little brothers. So she'll go and find something to do. We have puzzles, Play-Doh, all those kind of things, and go and play in her room. There's lots of things that she can do. I never provide extra activities or busy work for my children to do, and that's another thing. Charlotte Mason, they don't do that at all. They just do their lessons, and there's no extra twaddle, as she calls it, or busy work for the children to do. So number 4 really flows on from what I was just talking about in number 3 with the no twaddle and the short, sharp lessons. We don't homeschool for a long time. We are done in about 3 hours. So we homeschool 4 days a week. We probably homeschool for 3 hours, definitely no longer than 4 hours. So for example, all of the lessons would be completed in a morning, and then the children have the afternoon to pursue their own interests. So to do things that are interesting to them, the hobbies that they have, whether it's going outside and playing or doing their crafts that they like to do. Oh, Jackson's like, I'm hurting, let me in. Sorry. Filming with kids, y'all, it is difficult. My husband is out at the moment, so I've got all the children here. Is that yours? Yeah. Can I just use it for a second? I'll give it to you in a minute. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So our homeschool, so what we do here in the Lake House is actually we have the mornings off and we do our homeschool in the afternoon. So in the morning we will go for bike rides, we will catch up with our friends, we'll play at the playground. The children will do things that interest them, we'll play board games together and all those kind of things. And then after lunch is where we do... After lunch is when we do all of our lessons, and that's just done, as I said, no longer than 3 hours. There's no extra busy work or all that kind of stuff. So short, but real intentionally focused in those hours. And it's also can be a little, not so much teacher directed, it can be student led as well. So obviously, as a teacher, I am picking to read, the story of the world to them. But what will happen is I will read the chapter to them, and something will really spark, particularly William, my oldest, he's in grade 5. Something will really spark his interest from the story, and then we will go down a rabbit trail in finding out more about that thing. I, as the teacher, am setting what work we're doing, but it is student-led as well, because something will come from the learning that has happened in this book, and then I will help him to find out more information about that particular thing. I think I'm going to have to kick you out. I'm going to have to kick you out. You're being too disruptive. Okay, so that was number 4. Can you say number 4? 4. Now can you say, now we're going to talk about number 5.
5.
Hold up, 5 fingers. Number 5.
5.
Okay, so number 5 is giving them a wide variety in their education. So yes, we do study math, language lessons, geography, science, history, and then we add in some other things that we are really enjoying. We have added in studying a artist, studying a famous composer, and also studying a famous poet. And so we just study, so for example, we study a famous artist for 12 weeks. And each week we just spend 10 minutes on studying that artist. and I have put together, you know, some things that we use when we're doing our artist study and when we're doing our composer study and our poet study as well. And I will do some videos taking a closer look at the resources that I'm using and what we actually do in that 10 minutes. So watch out for those videos to come over the next few weeks. So I just take 10 minutes for each of those. So I just find 10 minutes, you know, 3 times a week to focus in on a famous composer, a famous artist, and a famous poet. And my children are actually really enjoying it. At first I didn't know how it would go, you know, introducing something like classical music and Beethoven to my children, in particular my boy who's in grade 5, he's 11, but he is absolutely loving it. They are loving those studies of the artist, poet and composer. And so look out for those videos. I'll show you what I do, but I do highly recommend doing those studies, and I'll put some links down below to simplycharlottemason.com. She talks more about how you do that and has some really great ideas as well. Okay, so they're just 5 of the things that we have added into our homeschool days to have more of a Charlotte Mason philosophy in our homeschool. There are other elements to a Charlotte Mason education that you can add in, but so far we have just tackled those 5 things. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions for me about any of the things that I talked about, please just leave a comment down below. I'd love to start a conversation with you. Watch out for those videos to come over the next few weeks, having a more in-depth look at those things that, you know, the artist study and the composer study and things like that. So thank you very much for watching my video today, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Bye.